All right, this is the review for the geometry test. There's a lot of stuff that I'm gonna skip over, but if you need extra practice, make sure to go back and go through these. So I'm starting with number 2 on the first page of the review. It's up on the board. You should have taken the time to read that on your own. You're using axioms to make 4 different conclusions. There's only one of these questions on the test. So 4 conclusions about the flowers Isabel sells. So it says Nala bought 12 roses for her friend's going away party. So our first axiom using that, you gotta read the problem. It says the shop gives a discount of $1 off per rose if more than 10 are bought. So since Nala bought 12 roses, it's gonna be $1 less than 5. So it's gonna be $4 per rose. So you can write Nala spends $4 per rose. That would be one axiom. Another axiom or conclusion, you can say Nala spends a total of 4 times 12, so it'd be $48. That would be for Nala. And then we do the same thing for Hector. Hector bought his mother 4 bunches of daisies for her birthday. So daisies are sold in bunches of 6 flowers and cost $4 per bunch. So you could do a couple conclusions. First one is, let's do how much money Hector spent. So it's $4 per bunch, and he got 4 bunches. So he spent $16. You could also say Hector got 6 flowers in each bunch, so he got 24 flowers for his mom. And then the last one is petunias costs $2 more per bunch than daisies, and the statement from there is that we didn't really talk about that. So that you can just ignore. I'm gonna do one more statement because it says 4. We'll go back to Hector. Hector got, so there's 4 bunches and there's 6 flowers in each bunch, so you got 24 flowers. For his mom. There's only one problem like that in the test, and it's fill in the blank. Okay, move on to the next page. You have the picture with the planes over here. I'm gonna go here. Problem's getting cut off just a little bit, but that's fine. Okay. Which planes are only in plane B? Plane B is over here. So the points that are in plane B are F, M, G, H, J, and K. Just the points. H, J, and K. And just so you know, from this section, there's only gonna be one problem like on the test. You'll have to know what a plane is. Name the 3 intersections of lines Y and Z. So let's look at, or name the intersections of lines Y and Z. So you see line Y and Z, they intersect right here at point H. That's it. Name the plane containing W, which is right here, and X. The name of this plane is right up here. It's plane A. And then last question, are points C, D, L, and P coplanar? Are all of these points in the same plane? No. C, L, and W are in plane A, but point P is in its own plane, so point P is not coplanar with A, C, and D. So we're gonna put no. Point P is not on the same, or let's just put not on plane A. So on the test, you'll need to know what coplanar means. Coplanar means points that are on the same plane. Collinear means points that are on the same line. That's it from that section. And then we got 5 through 8 really quick. There's gonna be one problem like this on the test. Okay, you're just naming this. This is a point, this is a line segment, this is a plane. The side of a skyscraper would be a line segment, tennis ball would be a point, and then the light pole would be a line segment. You can go through that a little bit slower and fill that in if you want to. All right, we're gonna go to the next page. There's one question identical to this one that's on the test. So find the measure of each segment. So they want us to figure out what PQ is. They give us the entire distance of the segment. They say that the entire distance of this segment is 7.9. And then they give us part of the distance from here to here. This red portion is 4.3. We got to figure out what that other portion is. So if you have the entire distance, and then you have a part of the distance, to find from P to Q, you do the whole minus the part. So we're going to do the entire segment, which is 7.9. And then we're going to take away the red part of the segment, which is 4.3. You subtract those, and then you get your answer for PQ. So 7.9 minus 4.3 gives you 3.6. And that is your final answer. There's one question like that on the test. We're gonna go over number 3, the exact same problem. We have the entire segment, which is AC is 12.3. They want us to figure out what BC is, but they tell us that AB is 5.9. So we're gonna do the whole segment, 12.3, minus part of the segment, 5.9. Subtract that, and you get 6.4. So BC is 6.4. Maybe you have time for one more, and then I gotta pause the video. Actually, I gotta pause the video.